Have you ever woken up in the morning and felt a stiffness in your joints that seems to take forever to work out? Maybe bending down to tie your shoes is just a little harder than it used to be, or your fingers feel a bit swollen and achy after a simple task. You might experience a dull throb in your knees after a walk, or a persistent discomfort in your hips that just won't go away. If you're like many of us over 60, you might sigh and think, this is just what happens. My joints are getting old. You accept it as an unavoidable part of the aging process, something you just have to live with, perhaps managing it with a pain reliever here and there. We often focus on obvious things when our joints start to complain. We think about past injuries, how much we've been on our feet, the weather changes, or maybe whether we've been getting enough calcium. And yes, all those factors can play a role. But what if there's something far more subtle, something you interact with almost every single day, believing it's just a basic necessity for preparing your food, that could be quietly, slowly, adding fuel to the fire of inflammation in your body, directly contributing to that joint stiffness, pain, and discomfort. Imagine your joints as well-oiled machines. When inflammation sets in, that oil gets thick and gritty. The smooth surfaces become irritated and swollen. Movement becomes a chore, sometimes painful. And while age-related wear and tear is real, chronic inflammation can significantly speed up that process, turning occasional stiffness into constant discomfort and mild aches into persistent pain. And the source of this inflammation? It might not be a dramatic illness or a strenuous activity. It could be hiding in plain sight, right there on your kitchen counter or in your pantry. We're talking about cooking oils. Yes, cooking oils. The very foundation of so many meals, used for frying, sautéing, dressing salads, and baking. For years, we've been told that some oils are healthy and others less so, often focusing on things like cholesterol or heart health. But the impact of different oils on inflammation, particularly the kind of low-grade, systemic inflammation that quietly attacks your joints and connective tissues, is a conversation that doesn't happen nearly often enough, especially when addressing the unique needs of bodies over 60. As we get older, our bodies become more sensitive to inflammation. Our systems might not be as efficient at processing inflammatory compounds or balancing the delicate fats we consume. This means that choices that might have had minimal impact in our younger years can now be significant contributors to chronic pain and stiffness. What you pour into your pan could be pouring silent trouble into your joints. It's a counterintuitive thought, isn't it? How can something so essential to cooking be a hidden saboteur of your mobility and comfort? The truth is, not all cooking oils are created equal, especially when it comes to their fatty acid profiles. There's a crucial balance of fats your body needs, particularly between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. While both are essential, modern diets, heavily reliant on certain common vegetable oils, have skewed this balance dramatically in favor of omega-6. And an excessive amount of omega-6 without enough balancing omega-3 can promote inflammation throughout your body. It's like an internal imbalance that shows up as external discomfort, often targeting areas already vulnerable, like aging joints. You might be using what you think is a standard or even light oil for most of your cooking, completely unaware of its potential to worsen joint symptoms. This isn't about blaming you. It's about shedding light on information that isn't always readily available. It's about understanding that even small, seemingly innocent choices in the kitchen can have a cumulative effect on how you feel and how easily you move. Stay with me, because the first cooking oil on our list is incredibly common, found in almost every household, and its imbalance of fats could be silently fueling the very joint discomfort you're trying to manage. Its widespread use makes it a major potential culprit, hiding in soups, sauces, baked goods, and countless fried foods. It might be sitting in your pantry right now, and it's not olive oil. We're about to reveal the first of the 5 common cooking oils that could be silently inflaming your joints after 60. Get ready for some eye-opening insights. We've opened the conversation about a surprising potential culprit behind joint stiffness and discomfort after 60. The cooking oils you use every day. We talked about how chronic inflammation can worsen age-related joint issues, and how the balance of fats, particularly omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids, plays a crucial role in managing that inflammation. As we move through life, our bodies often become less forgiving of imbalances, making the oils we choose even more significant for how our joints feel. Now, let's dive into the pantry and identify the first few oils on our list. Oils that are incredibly common, but may be silently adding to your inflammatory burden. The first oil we need to shine a light on is likely the most widely used cooking oil in many households, restaurants, and processed foods. Is vegetable oil silently fueling your joint inflammation? When you see a large plastic bottle simply labeled vegetable oil at the grocery store, it often contains a blend of oils, like soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, or safflower oil. These oils are inexpensive, have a high smoke point, making them good for frying, and are marketed as versatile for everyday cooking. However, their primary characteristic from a joint health perspective is their extremely high concentration of omega-6 fatty acids and very low, often negligible, amounts of omega-3s. Your body needs both omega-3 and omega-6, but they function differently. Omega-3s are generally anti-inflammatory, while omega-6s, while essential, are the building blocks for compounds that can promote inflammation. The ideal ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 in the human diet is thought to be around 1.1 to 4:1. However, diets high in vegetable oils can easily push this ratio to 10.1, 20.1, or even higher. When your body is flooded with this excessive amount of omega-6, it creates an internal environment that is constantly poised for inflammation. This low-grade systemic inflammation circulates throughout your body, silently irritating tissues, including the delicate lining of your joints and the surrounding connective tissues. You might just feel it as a general achiness, a feeling of being run down, or that your joints feel consistently warm or sensitive, especially after eating foods cooked with these oils. It's not acute pain, but a persistent, underlying discomfort that slowly wears you down and contributes to the feeling that your joints are aging faster than they should. Next up, another common oil often found in bottles right next to the generic vegetable oil. Could your corn oil be contributing to stiffness and discomfort? Similar to general vegetable oil, corn oil is highly prevalent due to its low cost and versatility. It's a primary ingredient in margarines, shortenings, salad dressings, and countless snack foods. From a fatty acid standpoint, corn oil is another heavy hitter in the omega-6 category, with a ratio that strongly favors these pro-inflammatory fats and very little omega-3 to balance it out. Using corn oil for frying or baking multiple times a week means you're consistently adding to your body's omega-6 load without providing the necessary omega-3 counterbalance. Think about the cumulative effect. Every time you use corn oil to cook your eggs, sauté vegetables, or make a sauce, you're potentially adding more fuel to that internal inflammatory fire. Over time, this chronic low-level inflammation can worsen the symptoms of conditions like osteoarthritis, make existing joint pain more intense, and contribute to a general feeling of stiffness and reduced flexibility, particularly in weight-bearing joints like your knees, hips, and ankles. It's easy to overlook something as mundane as cooking oil, but when it's used consistently, its subtle impact can become significant. You might notice your knees feeling particularly stiff after a meal prepared with corn oil, or find that your morning joint stiffness takes longer to subside on days when these oils are heavily featured in your diet. Following closely in the same category is an oil popular for frying due to its high smoke point. Is soybean oil silently affecting your joint mobility? Soybean oil is another industrial oil widely used in processed foods, fast food frying, and as a base for many condiments and sauces. Like corn oil and general vegetable oil, soybean oil is predominantly omega-6. While soybeans themselves contain a small amount of omega-3, ALA, the oil extracted from them is overwhelmingly dominated by omega-6 fatty acids. This means that relying on soybean oil for your cooking contributes to the same inflammatory imbalance we've been discussing. The continuous influx of excessive omega-6 from soybean oil can make it harder for your body to manage inflammation effectively. This can translate directly to how your joints feel. Perhaps a nagging ache in your shoulder that seems to come and go, a persistent stiffness in your lower back, or that feeling of your joints being rusty when you try to move after a period of rest. It's a silent, long-term process, but the daily choice of which oil goes into your pan can have a real impact on your mobility and comfort over time. And finally, for this section, let's look at an oil that might sound a little more exotic, but is common in certain types of cuisine and processed foods. Could cottonseed oil be adding to your joint discomfort? Cottonseed oil is another cheap, widely available oil primarily used in processed foods and for commercial frying. Unsurprisingly, it also has a very high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, heavily skewed towards omega-6. Historically, cottonseed oil even contained natural toxins that had to be removed during processing. And while modern refining removes most of these, its basic fatty acid profile remains problematic from an inflammatory standpoint. Using cottonseed oil consistently means you're doubling down on the omega-6 overload. This constant inflammatory pressure can break down the cartilage that cushions your joints and worsen the underlying conditions that cause pain and stiffness. You might feel it as a general tenderness around your joints, or find that exercises that used to be comfortable now cause noticeable discomfort. These 4 oils, vegetable oil blends, corn oil, soybean oil, and cottonseed oil, are pervasive in our food supply. Recognizing their high omega-6 content is the first step towards making more joint-friendly choices. But what about other oils? Are there others lurking in your kitchen that might also be problematic? And if these common oils are so inflammatory, what should you be using instead to nurture your joints? That's where the hope and the solutions lie. Think about how often you reach for an oil when you cook. It's such an automatic part of meal preparation, isn't it? We rarely pause to consider the complex chemistry within that bottle and how it interacts with our body's delicate systems, especially as we navigate our 60s and beyond. The inflammation we discussed in Part 1 and 2, that internal fire that can make joints stiff and painful, is heavily influenced by the types of fats we consume regularly. And unfortunately, our next common oil contributes significantly to the imbalance that fuels this fire. The fifth oil on our list is one you see everywhere, often marketed with imagery of sunshine and health. Is your sunflower oil silently adding fuel to joint inflammation? Sunflower oil is a very common cooking oil, prized for its light color, neutral flavor, and relatively high smoke point. It's widely used in home cooking, salad dressings, frying, and is a frequent ingredient in packaged snacks, baked goods, and ready-made meals. Many people choose sunflower oil thinking it's a heart-healthy option, perhaps seeing it as better than traditional animal fats like butter or lard. And while it is low in saturated fat compared to those, its major drawback, from the perspective of inflammation and joint health, is its overwhelming composition of omega-6 fatty acids. Depending on the type of sunflower oil, high oleic versus standard, the omega-6 content can be incredibly high, and its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is dramatically skewed, often ranging from 20.1 to over 200.1. Remember that ideal ratio we talked about, aiming closer to 1:1 or 4:1. Consistently using an oil with such a skewed ratio means you are dumping a large load of omega-6 fatty acids into your system without providing the counterbalancing omega-3s needed to keep inflammation in check. Your body uses these omega-6 fats to create signaling molecules, and in excess, these molecules can become drivers of inflammation. Imagine trying to maintain balance on a seesaw, but one side is piled high with heavy weights, omega-6, while the other side has almost nothing, omega-3. Your body's inflammatory response works similarly. When the omega-6 side is constantly overloaded by the oils you cook with, the seesaw is permanently tipped towards inflammation. This continuous, low-level inflammatory state can worsen existing joint pain, accelerate the breakdown of cartilage in knees, hips, and hands, and make those feelings of stiffness and reduced mobility a daily reality. You might wake up feeling stiff, and that stiffness lasts longer. Your knees might ache after climbing stairs, and the ache lingers. Your fingers might feel swollen, and you don't know why. That light sunflower oil might be a silent contributor to these very symptoms. Understanding the cumulative burden of high omega-6 oils on your aging joints. The oils we've discussed so far, vegetable blends, corn, soybean, cottonseed, and sunflower, share this critical characteristic. They are all exceptionally high in omega-6 fatty acids and very low in omega-3s. Their prevalence in our food supply means that many people are unknowingly consuming a diet heavily imbalanced towards pro-inflammatory fats. This isn't just about the oil you pour into your pan. It's about the oils hidden in chips, cookies, crackers, salad dressings, fried foods, and countless other processed items that use these cheap, high omega-6 oils as primary ingredients. Even if you try to cook healthy meals at home, if you're using one of these oils predominantly, you could still be contributing significantly to your body's inflammatory load. As we age, our body's natural ability to manage inflammation tends to decrease, and areas like our joints, which may already have some wear and tear, become more susceptible to its damaging effects. This makes the ratio of fats in our diet even more crucial. Consistently choosing oils heavily skewed towards omega-6 puts a silent daily stress on your system, working against your body's efforts to keep inflammation under control and maintain joint health. You might feel the effects not just as joint pain, but also as muscle soreness that takes longer to recover from, or a general feeling of stiffness throughout your body. It's like trying to walk smoothly on a path that's constantly being made bumpy by unseen forces. Recognizing these 5 common cooking oils, vegetable blends, corn, soybean, cottonseed, and sunflower, as potential sources of inflammatory fats is a powerful step. But the purpose of highlighting these oils isn't to make you fear your kitchen or feel like you have no good options. Far from it. The good news, the truly empowering part, is that there are wonderful, delicious cooking oils that have a much more favorable fat balance. Oils that can actually help reduce inflammation and support your joint health. Knowing which oils to limit or avoid is only half the story. Discovering and embracing the oils that work with your body to nurture your joints and promote mobility is where you truly gain control. The relief and comfort that can come from making simple swaps in your cooking oils might surprise you. Get ready to discover the allies in your kitchen, the oils that can help soothe that inflammatory fire and bring back ease to your movement. Okay, let's transition from the oils that can be problematic to the ones that can truly nurture and support your joints. Having learned about the potential downsides of those common high omega-6 oils, it's completely natural to feel a bit concerned. But please, don't let that feeling linger. This knowledge is not meant to weigh you down. It's meant to lift you up, showing you the path towards making powerful, positive changes that can genuinely improve how you feel every day. The wonderful truth is, if certain oils can contribute to inflammation and discomfort, there are equally common, delicious oils that can do the exact opposite. They can help soothe inflammation and support your joints in thriving. Think of this as an opportunity to upgrade your kitchen, not restrict it. It's about swapping out the oils that silently work against you for ones that actively work for you, becoming allies in your pursuit of comfortable movement and vibrant aging. The difference these simple swaps can make is often profound, reaching far beyond just joint comfort to impact overall well-being. Let's turn our focus now to these beneficial fats, the oils that can help quiet that inflammatory fire and bring back ease to your steps. Discovering the cooking oils that soothe inflammation and nourish your joints. Our goal is to reduce the overload of omega-6 and increase our intake of fats that help manage inflammation. The star player in this category, and an oil you should definitely embrace, is extra virgin olive oil. This isn't just any olive oil. Extra virgin signifies that it's minimally processed, retaining a higher concentration of beneficial compounds. While it contains some omega-6, its primary healthy fat is oleic acid, an omega-9 monounsaturated fat known for its anti-inflammatory effects. More importantly, high-quality extra virgin olive oil is rich in powerful antioxidants called polyphenols. These polyphenols are potent anti-inflammatory agents that work at a cellular level, helping to protect your joint tissues from damage caused by inflammation and oxidative stress. Think of these polyphenols as little firefighters, helping to put out the sparks of inflammation throughout your body, including in your joints. Using extra virgin olive oil for salad dressings, drizzling over cooked vegetables, finishing dishes, or even for light sautéing, though be mindful of its lower smoke point compared to some other oils, is a delicious way to add anti-inflammatory power to your meals. Just make sure you're choosing genuine, extra virgin. The real stuff offers the most benefits. The rich flavor isn't just for taste, It's often an indicator of those beneficial polyphenols. Next, let's talk about an oil that's gaining popularity, and for good reason. Avocado oil can be your joint-friendly cooking ally. Avocado oil is incredibly versatile, with a high smoke point that makes it suitable for higher heat cooking like roasting and frying, unlike some extra virgin oils. Like olive oil, its main component is oleic acid, omega-9, which is known for its anti-inflammatory effects. While it doesn't have the same high level of polyphenols as high-quality extra virgin olive oil, it's still a far superior choice compared to the high omega-6 oils we discussed earlier. Using avocado oil means you're cooking with a fat that is neutral in terms of inflammation. It doesn't promote it like excessive omega-6 and provides healthy monounsaturated fats. This helps you shift that critical omega-6 to omega-3 balance in the right direction, simply by replacing problematic oils in your higher heat cooking. Its mild flavor also makes it easy to integrate into almost any dish without overpowering other ingredients. Swapping your corn oil or sunflower oil for avocado oil in your frying pan is a simple yet impactful change for your joint health. While not ideal for cooking due to its very low smoke point, flaxseed oil is a champion for boosting anti-inflammatory omega-3s. We talked about the critical omega-6 to omega-3 balance. One of the most effective ways to improve this balance is to actively increase your omega-3 intake. Flaxseed oil is one of the richest plant-based sources of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid. Your body can convert some ALA into the longer-chain omega-3s, EPA, and DHA, found in fish oil, which are particularly potent anti-inflammatory agents. Adding flaxseed oil to your diet is a direct way to counterbalance the omega-6s that are so prevalent in modern food. It's best used cold, drizzled over salads, mixed into smoothies, stirred into yogurt, or added to cooked grains after they've been removed from the heat. Just a tablespoon a day can make a significant difference in shifting your internal inflammatory balance towards a more joint-friendly state. Storing flaxseed oil in the refrigerator and buying it in opaque bottles is important, as it's prone to oxidation. Crafting your joint-supportive kitchen. Making these changes might feel like a small step in the grand scheme of things, but the cumulative effect of consistently choosing anti-inflammatory oils over pro-inflammatory ones can be immense for your joints over time. It's not about eliminating all omega-6 from your diet. That's impossible and not recommended. It's about reducing the excessive amounts found in certain highly processed oils and foods, and consciously increasing the balancing anti-inflammatory fats like omega-9s from olive and avocado oil, and omega-3s from sources like flaxseed oil. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Start small. Maybe buy 1 bottle of quality extra virgin olive oil for your salads and finishing. When your current bottle of vegetable oil runs out, try replacing it with avocado oil for your cooking. Add a spoonful of flaxseed oil to your morning smoothie. These gentle, gradual changes are sustainable and less overwhelming. Listen to your body. As you incorporate more of these supportive fats and reduce those that fuel inflammation, you might just start to notice those subtle differences. Less morning stiffness, less achiness after activity, a greater sense of ease in your movements. These beneficial oils are more than just ingredients. They are partners in your health journey, offering a simple yet powerful way to nurture your aging joints and keep them functioning smoothly. By making conscious choices about the oils you use, you are actively choosing comfort, mobility, and the freedom to move through life with greater ease. It's a testament to the power you hold in your own kitchen, using everyday ingredients to build a foundation for vibrant, independent living. We've reached the final part of our conversation about cooking oils and their surprising impact on your legs and joints after 60. We've gone from identifying those common culprits high in inflammatory omega-6s to discovering the wonderful allies like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and flaxseed oil that can help soothe and nourish. It's been a journey of revelation, and perhaps, for some, a little concern about oils you've been using for years. But the most important part of this journey isn't dwelling on the past. It's about looking forward with knowledge and empowered choice. Remember that feeling of stiffness or discomfort that started our conversation? Acknowledging it, understanding potential hidden factors like cooking oils, and now knowing there are powerful, positive alternatives. That sequence is where true change begins. You are not simply aging into inevitable decline when it comes to your joints. You have agency. You have the power to make informed choices that can genuinely influence how you feel and how easily you move through your life. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about honoring your body's incredible capacity for healing and adaptation when given the right support. Your joints, more resilient than you think, fueling them for flexibility and comfort. Think about the millions of steps your joints have supported throughout your life, the bends, the stretches, the weight they've borne. They are structures of incredible resilience, designed for movement. And just like any intricate system, they function best when they are properly lubricated, nourished, and protected from unnecessary stress, like chronic inflammation. By making conscious decisions about the fats you cook with and consume, you are directly investing in the health and longevity of these vital components. You are giving your body the building blocks and the anti-inflammatory support it needs to keep those joints moving more smoothly, with less pain and less stiffness. This act of choosing supportive oils isn't just about reducing inflammation. It's about enhancing your quality of life. It's about making everyday tasks easier, regaining confidence in your mobility, and preserving your independence. Imagine being able to stand up from a chair with less effort, enjoying a walk without that nagging ache, or simply feeling more comfortable and less creaky throughout the day. These aren't just pipe dreams. For many, they are achievable realities with simple, consistent dietary adjustments, including the oils they use. Your kitchen, with its bottles of oil, becomes a place of empowerment, a space where you actively choose vitality with every meal you prepare. Taking your next step, make one oil swap. Share your experience. You now have valuable information about 5 common oils to be mindful of: vegetable blends, corn, soybean, cottonseed, sunflower, and 3 wonderful allies to embrace: extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, flaxseed oil. The next crucial step is to translate this knowledge into action. Don't feel overwhelmed by the idea of completely changing everything overnight. Sustainable change happens one small step at a time. Choose just one oil swap you feel ready to make this week. Maybe it's buying a small bottle of quality extra virgin olive oil to use for your salads instead of your usual dressing base. Perhaps it's deciding that when your current bottle of corn or sunflower oil runs out, you will replace it with avocado oil for your cooking. Or it could be as simple as getting some flaxseed oil to add a tablespoon to your morning yogurt or smoothie. This single, manageable action is where your power truly lies. It's the first domino to fall, setting off a chain reaction of positive change. And please share your journey. Connecting with others who are also navigating the waters of healthy aging is incredibly supportive and inspiring. What is one thing about cooking oils and inflammation that surprised you the most today? Which oil swap are you committing to try first? Share your thoughts and your chosen first step in the comments below. Your commitment can inspire someone else, and reading others' experiences can motivate you. Let's build a community of support right here. If this conversation has shed light on something important for you, given you hope, or inspired you to make a positive change, please show your support by giving this video a thumbs up. It helps us know this content is valuable to you. And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to the Vibrant Senior channel and have hit the notification bell. We are dedicated to bringing you information and inspiration to live your most vibrant life after 60. And we don't want you to miss out on future conversations that can make a real difference. Remember, taking care of your joints is an investment in your freedom and joy. By making conscious choices about your cooking oils, you are nourishing the very structures that keep you moving, exploring, and engaging with the world. Let this be your takeaway message. Every drop of oil you choose, every meal you prepare with intention, is an opportunity to whisper strength and flexibility into your joints. Thank you for joining this important conversation. Keep exploring, keep nurturing your body, and keep moving vibrantly forward.